Hey, what's up guys? Sean here, back with another video. Now in this week's video, we're going to be making a DIY small pack strop to sharpen your knife with. Let's get it. Alright, so for those of you who are wondering what a strop is, a strop is a piece of leather with some polishing compound on it that you use to hone the edge of your knife. Now, if you'll think back to old movies, you'll see, or you'll remember the barber taking a strap of leather, and he'll take his razor and go up and down that leather before he gives someone a straight shave. Now, that's what a strop is. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go one better. We're going to put that piece of leather on a piece of board. And then we're going to set it up where you can carry it with you in your pack. And you can hone the edge of your knife at camp or wherever you happen to be. So, let's get into it. Now, the things we're going to need are just a little pack of wood, a pencil, a razor knife, some sort of piece of leather, and some spray adhesive. So this is going to be pretty simple today. It's going to be just a short little video, but I kind of wanted to go through this and show you this because I think it might help you. It'll be something simple that you can do yourself at home. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these little slats out of here. Now, I got this from Walmart. It's a 6-pack of wood slats. I think it was around $3. So not expensive at all. And the leather, I'm just using an old belt that I had laying around. The most expensive thing in this kit is going to be this can of spray adhesive. And you really don't have to have that. You could actually use some Titebond wood glue, or just a small thing of contact cement. That works great too. So you may be able to find it even cheaper. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of this, and I've already cut down a couple of pieces of leather to the right length that I want. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and mark it out, and then cut this thing down. Now, I wanted to do it this way so you could do this thing simply at home with just some little hand tools. So let's get this thing cut down, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Now, the other thing I forgot to say is we are going to need one of these little clamps. Now, you don't necessarily have to have one of those. You can just have a heavy piece of wood to put down on top of it after we glue it. And that will work just fine also. So what we're going to do now though is we're going to put this down. I'm going to kind of leave it just a hair proud on the edge there, and we're going to mark this thing down like that. And I'm going to go ahead and move it down to the other end here and mark the whole thing out, because we're going to use this other little end here as just a small handle to be able to hold on to it with. Now, after you get it marked out, we're going to take our little razor knife. Now, I couldn't find a new blade. I would recommend using a new blade for this. And do not try to just, you know, bust through this thing real quick. Take your time, go easy, keep your fingers out of the way, and just follow this line. Now, if it takes you a few times to cut through this thing, it's not a big deal. This is not a race. I apologize if you hear the neighbor's four-wheelers. Apparently they must have got a fresh batch of gas and they're trying to get rid of it. So I apologize. No, I'm wrong. They're just kids out playing on their quads, and I would much rather them be outside on their quads than inside playing on a video game or on the computer. So I just went straight, hey you kids, get off my lawn, old man, didn't I? Oh well, it happens. Alright, it took a little while, but we got it in half. So now we're going to take this and these and we're going to glue them up. Alright, so I don't want to get glue all over my countertop here, so I've just got this old feed bag that we've got from feeding the animals, and I cut me a little piece of it and I'm going to put it down here on my countertop, and then we're going to shake this glue up real good. And we're going to spray them down, let them tack up, and then we're going to glue them on. Now we're going to glue up the shiny side down. So we want the rough side up, that way it'll take the compound good. I think that's going to be the best thing to do. So I'm going to actually take and mark the length of these pieces on here, because I don't want to spray glue all the way up my handle. Yes, we understand it's daytime. Rooster's always crowing. So if you look, I went ahead and put a mark on there. Now we're going to glue these things up. We may cook chicken, I don't know. But see if I can get this stuff sprayed on here and see if I can get the stuff sprayed on here and tacked up. Alright guys, we're back. So this is day 2. I know 2 days to make this simple little strop. It's kind of ridiculous, but what happened the other day when I went to spray, my spray glue was all dried up, and then it was nasty and rainy and I didn't want to go to the store. And now my wife's feeling under the weather, so we're doing a self-quarantine, so we're not going to try to run to the store just to grab some spray glue or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little Gorilla Wood glue. Now keep in mind, spray glue would definitely be a lot better, or your regular contact cement, contact adhesive would be a lot better than this spray or than this wood glue. But this is going to work for the purposes of this video. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing glued up, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do from there. Okay, so we're going to take our wood glue and we're just going to put just a liberal amount of wood glue on there, not too much. We don't want to make a huge mess, but we're going to go ahead and put some down on here like that. Then we're going to just kind of take and smear it all around like that, all the way out to the edges. You want to make sure you're getting it all the way out to the edges. And I'm going to do the same thing on here, all the way out to the edges. Now we're going to let this stuff soak up a little bit and get tacky before we put it back. Before we actually glue it down, we're going to let it get tacky, and then we'll clamp it in place. Okay, so I realized after I'd gone back to it, I glued the wrong side. I glued the underside of the belt, the suede side, but that's not really a huge deal. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a smooth side and a slightly rougher side. So I cut me another piece of leather and I glued this up. Now I think they're about as tacky as they're going to get, so let's get them on the board. So what we're going to do here, it's simple. We're just going to put this thing on here. Make sure you're right along your edges. Make sure your edges match up. Now if this thing is a little bit longer on the end, that's not going to matter because we can trim it back up when we're done, but we want it to match up to our edges good. And now right now you just kind of get it pressed down in place where you want it, because we're going to clamp it here in just a second. So we're going to take this piece, we're going to lay it down, match it all up, make sure it's all the way out to the end. Like that. Simple. And now we're going to clamp it down. Now we're going to do something very simple. We're just going to lay this other board scrap that we had on top. We're going to clamp that bad boy down. That should hold it down tight. And now we just wait and let this thing dry and get solid. And then we'll come back, apply some rouge to it, and I'll show you how this thing works. But in the meantime, while we wait, I've got something else I want to talk to you about. So as a lot of you know, over the past month, our channel has been growing like crazy. We've gained over 50 subs in the past month. And I really appreciate that. So I'm going to take this opportunity to ask you, if you haven't subbed already, hit the subscribe button for me. If you like our videos, give us a big thumbs up. Always give that thumbs up. That really helps. Also, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think about the videos. All those comments and stuff really help bump us up too. While I got you on this subject, if you're interested in helping support the channel, we have a few ways that you can do that. We do have a Patreon link. You can join Patreon for $5 a month, and that really helps out the channel. There's a link in the description for that. There's also a link for our PayPal if you just want to do a one-time donation. You can go there and do that. Now there's a link also in the description for our Teespring Store. And we've got a couple of shirts. Now, we don't make much off the Teespring stuff, but it's like free advertisement. So if you wear our shirt, you run around and you're advertising for the channel, and all that stuff helps. We do have a Facebook page. There's a link. And we have an Instagram. Also a link. If you don't follow us on Facebook and Instagram, please, if you have a Facebook and Instagram, go over there. Hit that follow button. Follow us. That way it kind of gives you a chance to see what we're up to when we're not just making a video. So, but talking about Instagram, we had a company called Yoler contact us on Instagram and ask if we would be willing to try out a couple of their products. I had never heard of them before, so I checked them out on Amazon. And there's a lot of good reviews on Amazon for their stuff. And I told them, yeah, I'd be glad to try out a few things. And they gave me a list of things to go through and see which ones I wanted. So I picked a couple things out. And I did get something in the mail the other day. So because Sarah and I do car camping, you know, a lot, I wanted one of these little folding grills. And now this company's called Yoler. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But they sent this to me. It came straight from Amazon, so it took like 2 days to get it. And this is one of the things that they sent me. So they sent me this folding grill. I want to take this thing out and let's do just a initial impression, and then in another video we'll try this thing out. So let's pull it out. Now I'm going to give you my initial impression of this thing, and I'm not going to candy coat anything for any company. So if there's something that I don't like, you're going to find out about it. But one of the first things that I noticed, it seems fairly sturdy. The steel on it is pretty thick. Now it's not super heavy, but it's heavy enough to feel sturdy. The welds look okay. They're not the best, but they look okay. This wire, the grate here, seems a little thin, so I'm wondering how that'll work when you really put it over a fire, but we'll have to test that out in the future. Now, it came with this canvas bag, and I think that's pretty cool because, you know, after you put these things in the fire, they get all like sooty and nasty, and so it would be nice to be able to put this thing in a canvas bag. And let's see if it even fits. I don't even know if it'll fit. Yep. So it would be nice to be able to put this thing in the canvas bag, throw it in the back of your car, and not have to worry about it. And it's got a snap on it, so that's not too bad. You throw it in the back of your car. It's all covered up. It's not getting soot on the rest of your stuff, so I like that. Now, it looks like it's got these simple little locks on here, so as you open it up, it kind of locks itself in place. And it's got a little carrying handle on there if you wanted to close it up and carry it around. It's just a little collapsible handle. It's supposed to be collapsible. There we go. So it's just a little collapsible handle on there. So looks like you pop the legs open and you just drop it on the ground. Now there's one thing I noticed right off the bat that I don't care for, and it would be a simple fix. It's painted black. All of it is painted black, even the grill grate. Now that means before you can actually use it to cook a steak or anything on, you're gonna have to burn all this paint off of there. And that's just an unnecessary step. So, Yoler, if you're watching, I would prefer to see that this thing not be painted. You can cover it in an oil, some sort of food grade oil. I know a lot of people use fish oil and stuff. It's a little stinky, but I would rather see it done with oil than painted. It's an unnecessary step that I don't think you have to do. And it's just going to make it more of an issue for me to be able to go through the process of burning all that off and making sure it's good and clean before we use it. So, really, that's the only real issue that I see with this thing. I like the size of it for a couple of people, you know, car camping. I think it's a good size. I like the little bag that it came with. I think that's kind of cool. You can throw this thing in the bag, throw it in the back of your car, and not have to worry about it. Getting soot all over everything and all that stuff. So I can't wait to take this thing out and test it and see how it's gonna do. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to go check it out. And yeah, I'm interested in checking this thing out, trying it, and see how it works. And then I've got another thing coming for another video that I think is going to be pretty cool too. I really kind of like where they're going with this stuff. So I'm pretty happy that they reached out to me, and we're gonna, you know, take the stuff and give it an honest review, and I'll let you know what I think about it. So appreciate y'all are hitting me up on Instagram, and if you guys go hit all those follow links and stuff like that, I'd appreciate it. Let's get back over here and see how we're doing with our strop. All right, so I got it unclamped, and as you can see, it's all glued down nice and tight. I've got the slick side and I've got the rough side, which I think that's going to actually turn out a little bit better. Now, I did bring some sandpaper to kind of just round these edges up a little bit, and just make it look a little nicer. If I'm going to carry it in my pack, I want to keep it kind of nice, but you wouldn't have to do that. But I do. I want to kind of clean it up and make it look nice, and have a little pride in my workmanship, you know. All right, so we got it ready to go. Now, all I have here with me is I've got some black rouge and some of the white rouge. So black is more aggressive, the white is finer. So I think on the finer side, we're going to use the smooth side, and then on the more aggressive side, we'll use the black rouge. So let's get this thing loaded up and see how it works. Okay, so to load this thing up, you're just going to come along here and load your rouge on there. Now, I don't know if just the red is called rouge, so that might be correct. So we'll just call this the compound. We're going to load the compound on here. Get it loaded up real good. Something like that should work. And we're going to flip over to the other side, and we're going to use our white. Okay, I think something like that should work. Now let's see if it'll sharpen anything. Okay, so I just misspoke. We're not trying to sharpen anything. We are honing the edge of our blade with this. Now, the strop is not for sharpening. It's just to hone that edge. If you have to sharpen your blade, you're going to need a stone. So, the edge we're going to work on today is the edge on my Condor bush lore, and as you can see, this thing gets some use. I love this knife. Now, there are a lot more expensive knives out there than this one, but this knife has taken some abuse. I probably shouldn't point it right at my face, huh? This knife has taken some abuse, and it has held up to everything that I've put it through. So it deserves a little honing. So we're gonna try out the new strop and see if we can't polish this edge up some. Okay, so to use a strop, you're going to take your blade, lay it flat on the table. You're going to drop that edge until you don't see that line anymore. So see this black line under here? You're going to lay that thing down until you don't see that line anymore. And then you're just going to keep that blade flat on that edge. Now, whatever you do on this side needs to be mimicked on the other side. So if you do 10 passes on this side, you need 10 passes on the other side. So what we would do is lay this thing back, do the same thing. You're going to get flat, find where that edge is. Now, something you want to avoid when stropping is the tendency to want to push and roll up. So do not do that, because every time you do that, you're rolling that edge a little bit and you'll be chasing that edge forever. So find your angle, push it all the way out, and stop. Don't roll that edge. Alright, so we're loaded up with the white. We're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to find that angle, and we're not pushing real hard. We're not pushing hard, and we're not going fast. We're going to find that angle, and we're just going to work that edge all the way down to the tip. I really got to stop doing that. I almost have no hair on this arm left. Alright guys, so it really is as simple as that to make your own strop to maintain your blades. Now this strop is going to be nice because I can just drop it right in my pack, and it'll be easy to get to, simple to use, and it really makes a huge difference in keeping your edge good on your knife. So the idea is, if you never let it get dull, you never actually have to sharpen it. All we're doing here is honing this blade. So we are doing our best to bring this blade back to super sharp, which it doesn't take much if you keep it honed. So just a simple little short video on how to make your own strop. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, like I said earlier, hit the subscribe button down there for me. I really appreciate you watching all our videos, guys. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you next time.